It's been a while since I did one of these. I also somehow live different. I'm in a different location, doing different things, drinking from a different coffee mug. Not important. Um, I think to me the most important thing is not being different. I had a situation happen recently where I think I could have been forced into a situation where um, I guess because previously I used to be someone who was like way too focused on the amount of money he has and like kind of making ends meet, that somehow I'm finding myself in the same kinds of thought patterns as before. Um, and the funny thing is that like this doesn't have to be happening. I don't have to be thinking about this type of stuff. And yet I am. And that tells me literally one thing. If I'm still thinking about this, then it's just that I'm maintaining the identity of the type of person that I don't want to be. Because these type of thinking, like they create these thought loops in my head. And these thought loops, they don't really help or anything. They just keep me wound up for no fucking reason. Um, and I think you might understand like what I mean by that. It's like you start thinking about this, and then this thought leads to that thought, and that thought leads to the other thought, and then you never actually resolve any of the thoughts. You just keep them in mind. They end up sort of taking out a large portion of your mental bandwidth to the extent where you can't even think about the really serious problem that you should be focusing on. I think if there's one good thing that I've managed to do is like gear my brain towards problem solving, um, constantly trying to solve the next problem. And I think everyone's like that, right? Like when we're hungry, we just go eat. When we're tired, we go sleep. When we're thirsty, we go drink something. Um, our brains are problem solving machines, and we do it unconsciously because we unconsciously want to live, we unconsciously want to stay alive. And that's exactly the thing is that money is something that is unconsciously linked to your survival. Um, we learn this concept when we're growing up, and then we know it when we're older. So any decision around money is also an emotional decision, which is why it also tends to be like super irrational. Um, which brings me back to my point, right? Like I'm currently making decisions about money that shouldn't really be emotional, that somehow are. And I'm asking myself, why is that happening? And how I could sort of switch perspectives to not do this type of stuff. Um, there was a really simple realization that I came to the other day. It was this three-letter idea, just API, just an interface through which you could start realigning the way you view things around you. And the three letters mean three things, so it's your attention, your perception, and your intention. Um, your attention is the first thing, and it's probably the most important thing because whatever you pay attention to ends up growing in the brain. You end up seeing more ideas like that, even while you don't try. Like yesterday, I was listening to a certain type of music, and whenever I was in situations where I could take one decision or another, or I could have one like like a few perceived decisions in some kind of decision matrix, then the decisions that stood out to me were the ones that were more in alignment with that type of music. And it's so funny when I think about like I don't know if other people actually think about this type of stuff. You just listen to music and you think it's like normal and it affects the way you think, the way you process your emotions. Um, and to an extent, it is. That's literally what music does. Like that's why it's so impactful. And I tell people to like be more intentional about the type of music you listen to. I was listening to that music on purpose as well, because I understood exactly what it would do to me. Um, I really like the music because it's a type of music. It's like not grungy or anything, but it's the type of music that is very egocentric. It's very centered around like earthly things like money and power and sex and all this BS. Um, and I used to listen to that type of music all the time at one point to the extent where I basically lost sight of my reality. I think another skill I really have and been cultivating and using as well is using my brain that is basically like a sponge. Using it effectively, more effectively to change my life. Trying to absorb only the right ideas. Some ideas you come across not even on purpose, you just come across by being in certain situations, by being around certain people. Um, Sometimes all it takes to really make sure that you get the right ideas is to find yourself in the right places. So I told you before that I recently moved. Um, I'm not in the same location I was at before, um, and I think this might happen again. I'm playing around with like a lot of ideas. I want to become the type of person that makes a lot of mistakes, because only in that way can I learn as quickly as possible. So I guess from the outside looking in, it might seem like I'm super indecisive, but that's exactly the point. I'm in a situation where I have a lot of decisions, and to me, it's not about making the right one. To me, it's about discovering all the wrong ones so that I don't make them again. Um, and I'm getting annoyed with myself as well because I'm like overthinking about this indecisiveness that I'm kind of projecting or showing. Um, I don't want to be an indecisive person because I don't consider myself to be an indecisive person. Like I know exactly what I need to do to make sure that I'm okay. I knew exactly that I needed to make this video right now because it's been a while, and also uh, it's very important for me to do these for my growth as a person, and also for the growth of my business. This is a no-brainer decision for me, but that's exactly the thing. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what action to take. So to me, it's never of that like I'm indecisive. It's just my brain is somehow overthinking the external vision, so how other people might perceive me, and that's so annoying. Like, why is it doing this? Why is it so fixated on something that it can't control? One thing I guess I'm learning is the fact that most of these sort of thought loops that my brain kind of puts itself into is just the consequence of things that have happened or learned sort of patterns in the past. So I'm guessing as a kid, I probably somehow learned that it was better for me to be the type of person who catered to other people. So now, whenever I'm in a situation, my first instinct is to check the effects of my decisions on other people or whatever. Maybe now it's time to unlearn that, and I think the best way to do it is to just use entropy. So entropy is basically the I guess you could call it a function that degrades every single system that can't maintain itself. A physical object is a system. Um, an idea is a system. Um, your identity as a person is a system. Entropy will degrade literally everything that doesn't maintain itself. So if someone is staying the same, that just means that they are maintaining who they are. They are maintaining the person they are through their actions and their thoughts and everything that they do. If an object isn't getting degraded over, it's because it is maintaining its shape. It's going against entropy. It's literally reversing the force, the function of entropy. Um, so, in the same way that entropy can degrade literally everything, all you really need to do to sort of step out of the person that you are, the person that is sort of acting against your best interests, and actually become a new type of person that you actually want to become. All you really need to do is let entropy take its course. So you have to just stop maintaining the identity that's working against you and start being the type of person to actually get the results that you want. Um, when I think about this, I think about that concept from like Alex Hormozy, the idea of like operationalizing certain traits. Um, I think about what kinds of actions would this other person, what kind of action would they take? Um, and when I think about that, I come to the conclusion that they don't they don't really overthink things, and it's because they are certain. So yes, my actions or the consequences of my actions might seem like it's very comes from an indecisive place, but again, I know what I'm doing. I know the consequences of like every action that I take, and I do them on purpose, just to stretch how far I can see, just to stretch how much I can take, to literally break apart every single self concept that I had before, so that I can take on a better self concept that actually works for me, not against me. So the like you just need to take those types of actions that really sort of break who you think you are, I guess. Force yourself out of your shell. The shell that doesn't actually exist, but it does because um, it's just a shell made of your own limitations. Um, the things that you tell yourself that you don't even know you're telling yourself because it might not even be you who's telling you those things. It's all the people around you who convince you that they were true. It's your location that's like only showing you certain ideas. It's the people you take seriously that only tell you certain things. As long as you understand who you are, you understand where you actually want to go, then you can really start taking really like I would say not crazy actions, but you start seeing exactly how every action you've ever taken is has mapped out to the type of person you are right now, and how if you took like single, slightly like really tiny actions, how they would start shifting you towards a different direction. And you could even map that direction out to its most likely outcome as well. And then you start taking those type of actions, and then you start mapping out your future. It sounds really simple when I say it like this, and to an extent, I feel like it's very simple. But again, an idea is a system, and this idea is only like it only exists. It's only coherent because I maintain it, because I live it, and I want to share this idea just for the mere sake of sharing it. Because I feel like if I don't, it'll die. If I don't, entropy will do its thing, and it'll just kill everything. and I don't want this idea to die. So, yeah, that was it from me. Thank you for wasting your time on this, and goodbye.